As the evening progresses, you all manage to get your rest and kind of gather your thoughts over the rather stressful experience you had previous evening within the palace.
We have to go see Uriel.
Who? Oh, right. Yes.
Go to see Uriel.
Okay.
I made a choice for the team.
As you're having this discussion, all of you make your way into the city of Amon, across the districts of the Cloud Top. You're greeted and let within the gate into the central district there. You make your way to the palace of Taldore, through the front doors, and the guards that are there lead you in, and one of them says,
Uriel is waiting within the throne chamber.
there are a few guards on the different entrances to the room. And as you walk in, Uriel just kind of sits there on the throne and gives you acknowledgement and kind of ushers you into the room. You all step in, Trinket kind of behind you, keeping an eye up, like a bear is wont to do. You guys make your way up towards the very edge of the central raised dais where the thrones are currently set up on. You now see on the opposite side of the room, Seeker Asum and Allura walk in, as well as Arbiter Brahm, who's the cleric that is the master of law in the city. They walk up and kind of flank the sides of the throne, stepping back a little bit to not kind of gather all the attention, but definitely be there as a show of support. As they enter, the doors on the other side of the wall of the room and the door behind you open, and roughly 30 guards enter the chamber quietly. They all kind of filter in, blocking all the exits. The doors close. No weapons are drawn, but there is a very strong showing of muscle in this room that you weren't expecting for this meeting. Once all the guards are settled and a really awkward silence hits the room, Uriel stands up from the throne and looks upon you, pacing slightly back and forth.
Thank you all for joining me. I must say I am troubled by recent events, and I wish to speak to you regarding them before taking any action. I owe you that much for all you've done for me. Before you left for Vasselheim, you showed immediate interest in the Briarwoods. I, through trust, did not inquire as to why, but upon your return, eagerly told you that they were coming to this feast and invited you as part of the Council of Taldore to join this feast, as it was your request. I graciously followed through. You showed up, a meal was had, questions were asked, although a few curious ones I did not pry. Now, I've since been notified, and seen a bit of the aftermath, that you, Vox Machina, seemingly attacked our guests shortly. Please, listen. Attacked our guests shortly after the meal in their own guest quarters, forcing them to flee after you destroyed the hallway, ruined their carriage, murdered 2 of their guards, 2 more outside, and leaving Seeker Asum to witness this entire process. Asum kind of gives a nod. Now, I'm quite disturbed by the events of these past 14 hours, and I would like to hear an explanation.
I step forward.
Can I do a quick insight check on Hasoon to see if I can still recognize if he's still affected by the mind control thing?
Go ahead and make an insight check, sure.
Oh, yeah. 28.
Glancing at Asum, the way he's looking at you, and the general tension and feeling of the room, you gather that Asum is not his normal self completely. You step forward.
Uriel, with all respect, I needn't remind you what the group of people before you put themselves through on your behalf and your family's behalf. We almost lost one of our own. And if that counts for nothing here, then nothing makes sense. But if that is not enough, let us start here.
Briarwoods are vampires.
We had prior knowledge of the Briarwoods' intentions before this evening. And I myself went to spy on them.
Here's the thing. Percy doesn't like them because they killed his family.
All of them.
They took over his home after
All of
killing
them.
his family. He got away. He knows they're scary. We're trying to protect you.
Cleric Tristan also treated
At
him
the Temple of
last
Serenray.
night for his vampire inflicted wound. I know this all looks really
Yes.
bad on the surface, and we did not want to cause any disturbance within these hallowed walls.
Of course not.
But there was a danger. We acted perhaps too abruptly and without telling you. And
But we tried to get your attention. I called for you immediately as soon as we knew there was danger.
You put so much weight upon this trust, and you have done a good service. But also I've heard whispers that you've thrown this trust around in many circles. I owe you nothing. Just as you owe me nothing.
Do you not want the truth?
I want the truth, but I also want you to understand the stakes that are here in why there is this question. As the leader of this, not this city, but this entire countryside, I have to be sure. And this is not the first time I've been lied to by very close, trusted people.
if you're worried about lies within your own ranks, I think you should start with him.
In fact, I actually might be able to help Seeker Hasum if you will allow me to.
Help him.
He glanced over at Asum, and Asum gives a look to Uriel, and Uriel kind of...
He was mind controlled last night.
I have had Asum at my side for the better part of 15 years. The Briarwoods, regardless of what you may think they may be, or we do, that will show in time, have shown nothing over the past 5 years, but graciousness, and gone through all proper channels to establish this relationship between our city and theirs. Far more than the previous family ever attempted.
Well,
However-
one may smile and still be a villain.
I
That goes both ways. Now, please.
look. Just let me do a
Yes.
quick restoration spell on Hasum. If nothing is wrong with him, nothing will happen. It's harmless. It's like taking medicine when you're not sick. It can't hurt.
I will,
Powered mind control spell.
in the good graces and the relationship we forged, allow this.
Assume, are you all right? Assume kind of gives a nod. Well, if this is to be how it is, certainly. And he steps forward. The halfling approaches you, looking you in the face. All right, you would like to attempt your greater restoration spell? You reach out with the greater restoration. You complete the ritual. You touch onto the arms of Asum. It fades, and you see in his eyes there's like a moment of clarity and an inhale, like a slight gasp, like some realization hits him. And his expression changes and looks towards you and just goes. He puts his hands out like this for a moment, just trying to almost trigger something. Go ahead and make a wisdom check. Just a d20.
Okay.
Or no, make an
advantage.
insight. Make a straight insight. This is more of an insight roll here.
Okay. 29.
You get the sense, through the subtlety of physical motion and expression, Asum is telling you, just go with me on this.
Oh.
He steps back into the place next to the throne. There's a brief moment of pause. Uriel says, and Asum? Asum goes, my stance has not changed. I know not what she is attempting or thought the situation was, but it appears to me that this was either misinformation or, at least at the time being, hopefully not a lie. But Uriel goes, all right. Here's the circumstance. You are not under arrest. You are revoked from the council, and you will be closely watched until our investigations are complete. Do what you must to clear your name. I would like, very much,
for this all to be true what you're saying, I want to believe you all. I ask you, show that my trust has not been misplaced all this time. Now you may leave.
I look forward to the second parade you'll throw for us after our names are cleared.
Very well. You are now currently
I know what you mean.
there in the cobblestone street of the Cloudtop District, removed from the Council of Taldore and left in this interesting circumstance.
Keyleth, what happened? Your magic didn't work.
No, it worked.
What happened?
It worked. It worked. Like a.
What do you think it
What
means?
does that mean? Does that mean Uriel's under the control? I don't understand.
Is he playing some sort of long game here?
It must mean that we have something to fear from Uriel. Or someone else close.
I don't know who to trust anymore, to be totally honest.
Really?
As you guys are in the middle of your meal, you hear clearing the stillness and quiet of the low munching up. And sitting at the table adjacent to you guys, completely unnoticed in his entry, is Sikar Asum, arms crossed, sitting at the
Motherfucker,
chair.
you are sneaky. I need to talk to you.
We are not cool right now.
Well, obviously not. That's why I'm here to have a conversation with the rest of you. Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank you, Keyleth, for clearing my head. Lord Briarwood had locked me to some form of mental charm during my attempt to aid
Told you
Vax.
it worked.
And
I believed you.
Sorry, I'm a little defensive right now. Continue.
that's all right. Things are a bit mixed up. It's hard to explain. Let's just say I've been clouded in my judgment for the past few days until you cleansed me. I'm sorry to uphold the charade back in the palace.
Apologies are mine, I think. I believe you had some sort of plan and I thought I knew better, and for that I'm sorry.
I cannot say that is untrue, but I accept your apology. I fear, based on my observations since, that our very own sovereign also fell to the same charm I did, and has been clouded since the dinner the night before.
Sovereign?
Shit. That makes sense.
We were kind of afraid of that.
Whatever you choose to do, if it requires my aid, I would give it a day before I have to leave. My next intent is to head... Well, I wish to go past the eastern curtain set up by Whitestone into Wildmount. I have spent the better part of the past day since the cleansing, seeking all records of the Briarwoods and their doings. There is a period of about 8 years in which there is no public record of their goings-on, and it appears that most records that deal with their involvement in Wildmount and whatever homestead gave them their title, Lord and Lady Briarwood, has all been but erased. So I intend to go to the source, Wildmount itself, and research. This will take me some time, of course.
When do you plan on leaving?
Sooner the better. I was thinking tomorrow.
Is Percy here? Is Percy in the room?
Percy is not in here. Percy is down in the workshop.
But we
I
can't
go
with you.
get
We
Percy.
could go with you.
Okay.
I was going to be at the
Some
door.
disagreement.
Oh, I come around the corner and I see
As you come around the
Percy.
corner, Percy is currently leaning up against the side of the wall, listening in the whole conversation.
Hey! I was looking for you. You want to come and, like, actually join the conversation for once instead of, you know, standing outside the door and just listening to them? Because I really feel like this is going to be your time to input and maybe really help.
I don't feel like doing that. Lead on.
Okay.
First of all, what do you think we should do? Go seek revenge on your family and get some blood on our hands, Briarwood blood, or do the sneaky thing and try to...
Please, we need your input.
You know them better than anyone.
And quite
I
frankly,
really don't. I think we're here because I wasn't prepared. I think we are in the situation we're in because we now know how much we don't know. How much I don't know. I'm not prepared. If we face them now, I'm going to get you all killed.
Tika, what do you think? What was your goal of coming here?
Yeah,
What
do you want us to come with you or what?
My journey requires the utmost of silence, speed, stealth, and I mean no offense to your entourage, but I think I could do this alone, and should. However, this journey may take me 2 weeks, a month, many months, I do not know. I'm doing this just in case whatever you're choosing to do fails, at least. If Vox Machina falls in this, I can come back with proof enough to try and once the army has been gathered. Perhaps we can rally all of Iman against Whitestone.
If you die, can you, like, write a letter and sign your name saying that we were right, you were wrong, you were full of shit, the Briarwoods are assholes?
But a lot more eloquently than that.
Or not.
I can try my best.
That would be lovely.
Alright, can we just vote on something, please, since Percy's being oh so quiet about all this?
Percy is being very quiet about this.
Are you sure you have nothing to say?
I still feel terrible about dragging you all into this and putting you in danger.
We're choosing to do it.
We're in this now.
Percy, let me ask you.
A voice whispers in your ear, Percy. No one hears this.
If you're with me, if you're with me, we can be prepared for them this time. Yeah. We know enough to prepare ourselves. We can have ourselves ready this time.
Then it's settled. I'll be on my way. You guys head out from Whitestone. It takes about a day's worth of travel. You go ahead and stop in the Terse Fields. It's a small farming community. You ask around for a bit. Most of the folks there say that they haven't had much trade or communication with Whitestone like they used to. They do provide crops and such, but they don't allow anyone past into the actual forest. They're traded at the boundary of the forest. You make your way northward to the bottom of the Alabaster Sierras, and as you begin heading up the outskirts of this mountain range, you do notice that the mountains are extremely high in altitude. Eventually, like it's just this perpetual climb at nearly a 40-degree angle as you continue upward, further, and the drop off at the edge of the cliff is 1,000, 2,000 feet at times, just straight down into the ocean and rocks below.
Death.
There are paths worn up here that has been used as travel before, although uncertain as to how recent they have been traversed. The rock itself of this mountain range is unusually, unnaturally white. Like the actual rock that forms this entire region is it's almost like a glowing quartz-like texture. There are parts that are almost translucent, some parts that are just a very, very milky white, and you can get, number one, you can now understand as to partially why the area is called Whitestone, the town nearby. And you've heard mention from Percy in the past of the large quarries there that mine this stone for various uses and export it throughout all of Tal'Dorei. And that's where a large portion of the town was kind of built around that trade at the very beginning of its construction. At this point, though, the sun has set, night has come in, and you guys are sitting within this cavern, hearing just the distant sound of the ocean waves crashing against the bottom of these cliffside coastal fjords.
But we should take
Percy
watch.
still awake?
Is Percy still awake?
Are you still awake?
I'm still awake. I'm going to fall asleep last, so.
I also stay up with Percy.
Okay.
Who's taking first?
I'll take first watch.
Percy, while we're alone for a moment,
Yes.
there's something that's been bothering me and I can't get it out of my head. And I thought I'd talk to you about it. Because I feel... We're friends, right? We're friends? Are we friends?
Sure. I'd like to think so, yes.
We've been through a lot, been together a while.
It's been a while, yes. 2
years now?
I suppose.
I go invisible and see if I can hear their conversation.
You know, you're a very brilliant person, but
Thank you.
I can't help but feel like I'm being watched right now, but that's... Never mind, just forget I said anything. I can't help but feel like there's something else. There's something more to this that you're not telling us. And I didn't really think of anything until when we were having that fight. You and Grog have really cool one-liners. And then you said, your soul is now forfeit to the person you shot that night. And I thought, wow, that was an interesting one-liner. And then I
did
thought,
say that, didn't I?
Yeah, you...
Honestly, I'll say I've had a number of years thinking about what I would do and what I would say and how I would go about this. This kind of obsession is not healthy, and I know that. And it's no way to live. And I'm sure that was something on the list of things I thought I would say. Some attempt to be scary when I met them, as opposed to being scared. I think I was... Again, I don't really remember much because I was so angry. I've never been so angry, and I think I was just trying to sound threatening. And I'd had these dreams before, you know, don't build anything like this without the knowledge that you're... I'm aware that inventing this thing has been a mistake.
What thing?
I pull out my gun.
Wait, what are you saying? You had knowledge? You didn't build that without inspiration? What do you mean?
I've had thoughts about it, but I didn't really think about what I was doing or what I was going to build until I decided to take my revenge. And I'd never thought about building it because I realized what a dangerous idea it was. And I fear that for the day that comes back to haunt me. I don't know what I'll do, but I don't know, I think I was just trying to say something to be intimidating. I honestly didn't even think I was going to kill him. It just happened.
Can I see if he's lying to me?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
17.
17. Go ahead and roll a d20.
Insight really that... 18.
Best you can tell, he's seeming honest and sharing open-hearted to you. You feel like you've really gotten to the core and truth of what Percy's about.
Well, that
What?
settles that.
What?
Keelan.
What'd you say?
You feel you've gotten to the core and truth of what Percy's about.
Yeah.
And perhaps your questioning this has upset him and you kind of feel like maybe you've pushed this a little too far.
Yep.
I do regret what happened. And I know he was a bad man, but I hope to never lose my temper like that again. I think we should possibly spend the night and get a view of the town and see if there's anything unusual.
I agree. Can you camp out and hide?
Watch from afar. What's that going to tell us?
We could send one in. Wow.
We'll send a bird in.
Or an invisible,
invisible gnome.
little person.
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah, just to see if the town is normal or not.
It could be all vampires, or it could be a totally normal town.
If it's all vampires, it'll be empty right now.
Because it's daytime.
You guys make your way, swooping down. You can see that cluster, that murder of crows, begin circling out and is making a large pass over this entire valley. You take this cue as you get to the almost a visual range of the city to cast invisibility on both of you as a third level spell?
Yes.
Okay. As you get down close enough to start scanning over details, you can see a lot of the buildings appear to be closed or empty. There are people working the fields. As you make your way to the center of the town, there is a town square. And there is the tree there, a very large old tree that is kind of twisted with all these various gnarled branches that reach out. You recall Desmond mentioning something called the sun tree. That is the centerpiece of this area. And you get a view enough of the tree to see that there are 8 humanoid bodies of varying ages swinging from it.
Oh, no.
You also notice that trolling through the city at very slow paces, there are a few larger than normal humanoids. You see what appear to be approximately 6 giants that are just patrolling through the town, but you can see some of them are like kind of wrecked and broken. One of them is missing an arm and is kind of dragging a foot behind it. And you can
They're
see
zombie giants.
and apparently, whenever one's moving through, most of the denizens of the town keep a very wide berth and generally avoid them entirely and go about their business in a distance.
Want to set me down so I can talk to some people?
You want to talk to people?
Well, or at least eavesdrop. I mean, we don't know if they're all vampires or not.
Does it look like there's a central part where there's a lot of people kind of gathered?
The farmlands would be the largest cluster of people. There you can see there since it's getting to the end of the day, there are a lot of folks that are finishing up gathering the crops that are available to them or planting as they go through, and there's probably about 5 or 6 people that are all in one group. Most everyone else seems to be relatively solitary and trying to go about their business as fast as possible.
The town square is emptying out.
The town square, nobody's in the town square. The town square is, people are avoiding like the plague. There are just 8 bodies hanging from the tree, and nobody wants to be there. So you swoop down and you perch on the edge of the wall there. It's about 25 feet up.
I'm just gonna go walk down there, and then I'm just gonna walk down and see if I can stealthily eavesdrop on some conversations.
Okay. You can see they have carts up, and they have what vegetables they have there. And a lot of the vegetables, even at its close look, a lot of them look kind of withered. It looks like there's a general sense of frustration that the land itself is not producing quality crops. And even the people look kind of unhealthy and gaunt by nature, whether it be the cold winter recently or just their general spirit is broken. But there is a feeling about these people that life here is not what it used to be. There isn't a whole lot of conversation. There's mutterings here and there, and like, we have to make sure we get these back in time. Fill the cart. We have 2 carts we have to get in. This one's like, I know, I'm trying. And they're putting over there. And there's a little bit of frustration amongst them and the ones counting. And they get the last bit of the crops. Like, that's it. That's all we have. That is the entire pull for the day. And the older gentleman is over singing, kind of grinds his hands, goes, so Carrion's going to have my hide.
Well, wasn't that one of the people that...
Yeah, wasn't it?
At the very least, let's gather it together. Hopefully, the Lord protect us. And the people kind of take the carts and begin making their way towards the outer gate on the southeast side of Whitestone, where you guys are currently at.
Okay. I'm gonna hustle back to the roof.
All right. You guys vanish, and
I
Keyleth,
know.
you take off back in the direction you guys traveled from.
Before we slumber, we did a little intel, a little recon.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Turns out the town is full of humans. You know,
okay.
except for these 6 vampire giants or
And
zombie giants.
Zombie
they all appear
giants.
to be fairly miserable people. Looks like there were some executions that took place. There are about 8 bodies hanging from that tree.
Why is it called the sun tree?
It's really lovely. I don't know. Maybe it gets sun.
I don't know. Why do they call it the sun tree?
You're the.
Can I go with this?
You,
Unless you have a particular reason to.
I mean, you can go. There are maybe many reasons it's called the Sun Tree.
There's reasons. Maybe we need
Legends-
to battle them at the sun tree.
Legends say that before the castle was built, that the journey into the valley was treacherous and stormy, and the original builders of White Castle feared they'd die. And this one great tree stood in the valley, and it was underneath it that they took shelter. And as they began to take shelter, the storm broke, and the storm did not return until the castle was completed.
That's a lovely story.
It's we hold our festivals there every year.
And now it's being used as a.
As a gallows, yes.
Does it get a lot of sun?
You do know that this, and this ties in with your story as well, because the guidance into forging the city of Whitestone here, that tree was representative to them as a guardian of Pelor, the god of the sun, and protector of light, holiness. Is considered one of the more,
A very serious god.
Yeah.
That could help.
That could help us because vampires hate the sun.
In the morning, we take a look at the passage, see how well guarded it is, and if it looks dangerous, sneak our way into the town. If people are not enthralled, if they are being forced to work, then maybe we can find some allies.
Find allies in the town?
I don't think they're happy.
I think they're terrified.
Yeah.
And I don't want to let them know we're here for
I don't-
fear they'll
yeah.
turn us in hopes of saving their own.
That's what I'm thinking.
Karen's-
Yes, they are
Karen's
terrified,
terrified.
but they're this whole town is being ruled by fear.
I have a feeling we can revive that tree somehow. It may weaken the Briarwood's hold on the psyche of the villagers
This
here.
is true.
Would
It
agree.
could help out. Let them know that the god of the sun is on their side.
You need faith, Scanlan Shorthouse.
Me?
You need
I
faith.
am the antithesis of faith.
You got to
Then
have
you need
faith
to shut
to
up
think
and
the
let
big
us fix
stuff.
that tree.
And then what?
We rally the
no!
townsfolk.
We're gonna fight off a million monsters to heal a tree, and then we're gonna say, okay,
There may be
bring
no
out the sun or something.
It's
The
a
sun
sun.
already
What?
rises.
Hang on. What did you just say?
Which what?
That thing you just said that no one heard? Because we were all shouting and arguing? Rally the townsfolk?
Rally the townsfolk. This is something I don't think that sneaking in is necessarily the answer. I'm not saying go in guns blazing, but I say we will let them know.
You wanna build a militia?
I want to build a rebellion.
I like it. Well, they would recognize you, wouldn't they, Percy? You've
I
been
have a
around
plan.
them.
I'm not.
You have a
I'm
plan.
kind of into this. Yeah.
Does it involve healing the tree?
It does.
Yeah.
I don't think there is any sneaking in thanks to those birds. So
I
we
don't
make a
either.
stand out here.
Tell us your plan.
Bring them out to the sun tree to
My
fight
plan
us.
is we do our best to sneak in. We find cover. Obviously, you said there's abandoned buildings. We find cover. We heal the tree. I have some other ideas. We take those zombie giants out one by one, quietly.
We're gonna be insurgents?
Shh, let him
Going to
finish
be
the plan.
insurgents.
I kind of love this.
Okay.
It's kind of like Attack on Titan.
We
This is
start
cool.
finding our friends, and we start making friends.
Okay.
We let them know we're back.
I like it.
I like
Part is getting an abandoned building. Post
So that we can be near the tree to protect
So that we
you
can
while
be
you do it.
townspeople,
Okay.
right?
So you can get a beret.
abandoned building, part 1.
We're setting up shop.
Get into the town.
So who?
Would I also? I would like
saw through
to.
it, though.
I've been trying to think of what sorts of buildings would be the most defensible and the least likely to arouse suspicion.
Well,
Things with basements.
I mean, a lot of the houses have basements.
Wine
There are
fridge.
varying degrees of it. There are larger homesteads that were reserved for the actual nobles that ran the day-to-day life of Whitestone when your family was in power. Or as you heard from Desmond, apparently probably the places where the new nobles live. Those are the ones that have the gates around them. They're the larger homesteads kind of scattered throughout the town.
It's too obvious.
This is far too obvious. There are many small abodes and even some farm-based hovels. The poor end of town is the farming side, which is the southwest, which is the closest area to where you guys actually made your stop earlier.
I would almost.
Look like
All right.
farmers.
I will cast seeming on us.
So you guys look like pretty rough peasants, dirty faces, hair a little razzled. Looks like you've been living the harsh life on the outskirts of the slums of Whitestone for quite
To
some
be a
time
model.
with a donkey. So you guys, utilizing your stealth checks and assuming you make your way up to which side of Whitestone are you coming in
Thank you
from?
for the double 20.
Where are we coming up?
Coming in from the west.
Okay, so you come into this entrance here. You make your way into the center of town, blending in best you can. There are a few folks who see you enter and kind of just give a strange look.
Oh boy.
You all are unfamiliar to the denizens of Whitestone.
No shit.
But you don't look like a threat per se, so you are noticed, and some people do seem to just stop and watch you pass, but no one seems to make any active mention, note, or change in behavior towards it.
When checking buildings while we're walking through.
I have passive perception.
I walk
21.
over just to
Always looking.
one random person on the street and say, "Is anyone iron hands on farms?"
The woman you approach, who's probably in her early 30s, pale blonde hair, looks like she's might be actually kind of losing it in places. Kind of gives you a look, goes, "You poor people shouldn't be here.
Just need some work.
We'll find her, but we're not going anywhere else. Welcome to Whitestone." She turns around and walks back, joining kind of arm with apparently a man that she's paired with, and the two of them just kind of walk away, a bit dumbfounded that people walked into Whitestone. As this happens, you glance over your shoulder and you see, coming from the northern edge of this side wall,
Oh, we should avoid that shit.
a very tall, noticeably undead giant with its jaw broken off and hanging in the hinge, dried, caked blood across its chest, and it's just dragging this large club behind it.
Where are we? Like, what are our surroundings?
You guys right now,
All of us?
you're at a T. To the right and left are roads that go along the inside of the wall that surrounds Whitestone. To the front of you is the path that leads further into the city.
Let's go into the city.
We casually
let's.
begin.
I want to head through the city,
Laser.
possibly in the direction of the
Laser
cemetery.
pointer.
Yeah.
Cemetery's over here. So
Yeah, I want to head in that direction.
All right, so you guys make your way through.
Keeping an eye out for, buildings that
What's-
look like clustered and abandoned, like we could hide in.
What's changed?
What you've noticed has changed. One, largely, the population is far more sparse than what you recall. What was once a bustling city, you're now seeing about half as many people as you would see at this time of day. Going through, everyone seems to be in relatively poor health. There are a few buildings that look like long-term abandoned immediately in this kind of area here on the outskirts that catches your guys' eye. Listen to here, and to the left of you, you can see towards the town square, and there it is, the sun tree, a very, very large, you imagine beautiful tree at one time. At full height is probably about 40 feet tall. The branches twist out and almost look like they're hanging loosely at the ends. Everything looks droopy and desolate. There's not a leaf on it.
Can I do some sort of check from a distance to see if I can recognize what kind of tree it is?
Make a nature check.
18.
Okay, it's hard to tell from this distance. There are a number of types of trees it could be. It's not indigenous to this land. The fact that it grew here means that either it was transplanted or it was some sort of
Magically grown.
magical creation for its presence.
Okay.
And you do see the silhouette of the 8 figures slowly swaying from beneath the branches.
Do we continue on? Don't pay too much attention to it. Find a place to post up.
Yeah, don't get
If
emotional.
you
Not
if
yet.
you do your nature-y spell from inside a building, does it still do the same thing, or do you have to be next to the tree while you're doing it?
No, it's a large radius, right?
So the way the spell works, I can do it one of two ways. I can do it instantaneously, essentially grow up a whole bunch of plants and brush and shrubbery around me, or I can wait and I can concentrate for a while and instill a plant with vibrant life and energy and heal the farmlands, and it would stretch out for a really far radius.
Let's keep moving.
I'm gonna probably want to do more of the second one.
Okay,
Do it
let's
from
move.
inside a
Did you
house.
guys want to keep moving down this
I don't
path? Did
know,
you want
I
to go
think I have
through
to-
the
it's a
square,
central-
closer to the tree? Do you want to move
We'll
southward?
avoid the tree a little bit and just
Go
keep
around.
going straight.
Should I keep going this way?
Yeah?
Do we see? There's like a larger building, isn't there? I can't.
Actually, I would say let's get a good look at the tree. Let's walk by it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna walk by the tree?
Okay.
Okay. We'll
Just
walk by
don't look like it's no big deal.
I know.
You guys turn left and you make your way towards the town square. And as you enter the square, looking around, you can see there are what would have been carts and small booths set up for selling of meats and other goods. What was a small, barter and sale based hub of this town. Nowhere near on the scale of Iman's Bazaar, but enough to support this town.
150 feet.
Desolate.
Can't do it.
All look to be closed down and untouched for quite some time. As you get a closer look to the, actually I'm gonna have you guys roll perception checks. On the outskirts of the square, it's hard to make out the details, and the weathering has kind of muddled the figures that are hanging there. Percy and Vax, you guys notice the figure on the far left.
the body.
The body on the far left has a like a red paint smattered across its face and its arms. It's wearing a dirtied green vest-like robe that dangles below it as it hangs there loosely. Immediately to the left of it, you see what looks to be the body of a child. The child is dressed up in a purple-ish, billowing shirt, a very fine silk shirt and pantaloons, and is dangling there next to it. To the left of that, you see appears to be a female, adorned in greens and browns. Looks like red paint has been driven through the hair, and dangles to the left of that figure. Next to that, you see what
I
appears
am
to
walking
be
the fuck away.
you see what appears to be another woman dressed in dark blacks and browns, leathers, some furs across the top, dark hair, dangling. To the left of that, you see another man dressed similarly, dark grays and blacks, long dark hair, dangling. To the left of that, you see a rather large man, older, rotund, probably in his 40s, clothing padded but mostly open chest, hair completely shaved bald. Looks like there are dark scars or placed across the face, hanging. To the left of that, you see this figure is actually not humanoid. It appears to have been
Oh my god.
recently hunted bear that is dangling.
No,
next
no,
to the
no, no,
rest
no,
of the
no, no,
group.
no.
Wait, what? Is that us?
It looks like us.
What?
It's us.
They killed people they thought were us. Or they killed...
Or it's a message.
Or it's a message to us.